is it?
The IT's guy is going to have fun watching this.
There you go.
Okay, let me get mine back up. There we go. All right, thank you. I'm sorry for the delay. I think I was almost on time. I'll call us to order, and could we have a roll call, please, of our, oops, is this tonight? Yeah, okay, yeah. We have a roll call of our attendees tonight?
Dean Groskov?
Here, I'm sorry.
Cynthia Kennedy is here.
Here.
Jen Murray here. Oh, okay.
Present.
Kurt Paulson.
Here.
Ken Sipsma.
Yep.
Mike Slavish, our new member, does not appear to be present.
Good. All right. Looks like the next item on our agenda is to approve the draft of the minutes. That's all the way. It's been that long, from November 20th of 2019 since we last had a meeting.
Mr. Chairman, we do have election of chair and vice chair. It's a standing item at the first meeting every spring or summer.
I missed that. I missed that. All right. I apologize. So, well, we should get.
I nominate Kenneth Sisma to be chair again.
I'll second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second nominating me. Are there any other nominations? All right, any discussion on those two? Oh, do we need, we want a vice chair separate?
Yes.
Okay, okay, any discussion on the nomination? I'm happy to do it. If someone else wants it, they can do it, but I'm happy to do it. Are we doing a roll call and votes here?
I think all you need to do, Ken, is call the question for ayes, wait, then call nays, and you'll know, because then you'll know if you have any nays.
I couldn't remember which meetings were requiring roll calls up for everything. Okay, there being no further discussion on the motion, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. We are passed. All right, thank you for getting us in on that. And we need a vice chair now.
I'll nominate, I'd like to nominate Kurt Paulson for vice chair.
I'll second that. We do have a motion nominating Kurt Paulson as vice chair. We have a second. Any discussion on that?
You should ask for any other nominations.
Oh yeah, yeah. Are there? Yes, thank you. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? There being hearing none, we can go ahead. Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? If not, I'll call that question. All in favor of the motion or the election of Kurt Paulson as vice chair, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. And that is passed. All right. Now I can get to the approval of the minutes. That's first item on our agenda, I believe. And I know we got those out. It's all, as I was saying, it's all the way back to November 20th.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dean was there. Cindy was there. I was there. And Kurt was there.
And Jen.
And Jen.
Oh, Jen, you were there too. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's all right. I'd like to make a
about
motion.
you, Jen. I'm sorry, Jen.
I'll make the motion to approve the draft minutes from November 20th, 2019. I'll second the motion.
We have a motion to approve those draft minutes, and we have a second. Any discussion on those? Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. That is passed. Yep, I don't have my agenda anymore.
Okay.
Sorry, I can bring one up, I suppose. Let me see.
No, it's all right. You have a hearing next.
All right. So, let's see. Our agenda items is a single one tonight, and that is we have a public hearing. I'm looking at too many ones. We have a public hearing tonight. It is on a general implementation plan amendment, the community of Bishop's Bay, relocation of 13 residential lots for church and school, and that is on Texas Longhorn Drive. Before I open the public hearing, could either Mark or Tom or both of you just give us a little rundown here on what the public hearing is going to be about?
Mark, since it's in Westport, you want me to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So we got a request from the Cross Lutheran Church to relocate, consistent with actually a consult that we had back in November for property that kind of backs up to County Trunk Highway M, and it's on at the end what would be the corner of Texas Longhorn Drive. This was heard. This was also at the Town Plan Commission, the Town Board, and Tuesday night at the Middleton Plan Commission as well. So what would happen is there's this area for this church. So the general implementation plan needs to be amended because those are going to be residential lots. Those 13 residential lots would be moved that all seem to agree upon somewhere, probably in the farm, but to an area that we need to determine between the city and the town where's the best place to put those. So all of the bodies, on Tuesday night, the Middleton Plan Commission recommended approval to the Joint Zoning Committee and to the City Council. The action items that were in the Town Board resolution, plus wanting in the SIP to just make sure that there's spots shown for the fields and where those would be, and that's in the SIP. So that was kind of a message to the developer. When you come back with your SIP for the church, please show us where you're going to put your fields. And I think the items in the agenda packet that everybody is seeing that's on this body, and probably Joel and Neil, everybody that's on board here too has probably seen it as well. It's a simple movement of adding the church really in that area. And there were, like I said, 13 actions. So Ken, that's really the introduction. We need to do an amendment if you so desire to the general implementation plan to allow that. And then the church would have to come back for an SIP and a design review in the town that goes to the Town Plan Commission for the specifics of the church. And also there would need to be an SIP and probably a GIP amendment when it's determined where those 13 lots are exactly going to be relocated after the town and city sit down and have some conversation. That's where we are, Ken. That's what I got for you.
Okay, and Mark, did you have anything to add staff-wise before I open the public hearing?
Sure, I would simply add that if you decide to, after holding the hearing, if you decide to advance this GIP amendment out of this meeting tonight, then the council, the Middleton Common Council will have to hold its own hearing, and the earliest that could be held is, if I get the notice to the paper tomorrow morning, which I'd be happy to do, that would be July 21st, I believe. Yep, July 21st.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Okay, well, thank you, staff, for the comments. And right now I will open the public hearing. I see we have 12 participants, which means I think we have a few more than just our staff and our members. So if there's anyone on who would like to speak to the general implementation plan amendment for the community of Bishop's Bay, relocation of the 13 lots for the school and church, please tell us now who you are and what you would like to say.
My name is Pastor Joel Brandt. I'm the pastor of Cross Lutheran Church. And I don't think I have anything to add other than Tom's explanation. I think our congregants and this is something that we've been working towards for a while. And we've had the opportunity to come before this group and then the planning commissions. And we're just grateful for the time and the opportunity. And we're excited to be able to go forward, and we're ready to build our church and start planting and making a difference in that community. And hopefully that this will then be something that becomes a blessing to the community, spurring on further and future developments, attracting other families. And who knows what else could come from this as time passes, as the development continues to grow and both Westport and Middleton are affected. But I just want to thank everybody who's been a part of this to help us get this far.
Thank you, Pastor. Anyone else on board here with us that would like to speak? Last call. Anyone for the public hearing?
Okay, this is Neil Smith.
Yes, hello, Mr. Smith. Go ahead, please.
I am a board member of the Holy Wisdom Monastery, which is right around the corner. And I basically have a couple questions. One is, what is the size of the congregation that you perceive in the future? And what time would you have services? I'm looking particularly from a traffic perspective.
Okay, would you hold on just a second, Pastor Brandt? I assume you can answer those questions. And Mr. Smith, those are your two questions?
Yes, they are.
Okay, excellent. Then I'll just refer those to Pastor Brandt, and if you could just give us a little information on that, that'd be great.
Sure. We're currently a congregation of about 110 people. So obviously, if you think about traffic flow, it's relatively minimal, considering also that area of the development hasn't been expanded yet. That's a future phase. Really, the only area that there would be traffic for would primarily be on Sunday mornings, which, again, I'm no traffic expert. I'm a pastor. I understand is usually pretty a low flow time otherwise. From what I've heard at this meeting and others, there's traffic is something that's been thought out in terms of how that should flow through the development. But one of the attractive reasons for this particular spot is that if you look at the map that's up on the screen, yes, Texas Longhorn Drive does connect down south towards Bishops Bay Parkway, but it also has an outlet to the north up on Onken Road. And so it's a two-access point, either to Onken or to Highway M. And so the expansion of that makes for multiple venues through which traffic can flow. Weekday traffic, I wouldn't expect it to be very, very much unless there was something like a wedding or a funeral on unusual times. But primarily, churches would have services on Sunday mornings, possibly a midweek service as we grow and expand. But to make predictions about all those kinds of things, I can guarantee Sunday morning, but I can't guarantee more than that. But I will say, as we grow, right now we're pretty much at our smallest point, and we hope to build phase 1 and then phase 2 and 3 down the road and just continue to expand. But it's the kind of thing that you have to think through now so that we're prepared for that possibility of continued and ongoing growth as we go. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for answering the question. Thanks for, Mr. Smith, thanks for asking the question. It's good to have Holy Wisdom is a rock, is an established faith-based organization in place in Westport for as long as I can remember. So they'll be a great neighbor, and I expect you will be as well. Any other comments for a public hearing? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing then. We can move on to our single agenda item tonight, and that is the general implementation plan amendment for the community of Bishops Bay, the Farm, and Reserve Hill neighborhoods. Locate 13 residential lots for school and church, and that is going to be on Texas Longhorn Drive. And so
I can offer a little bit here, Ken, if you wish me to.
So
you've got a proposal from the town. The city plan commission looked at this last night or Tuesday night and made that other comment about the fields. I think Kurt on the plan commission, Kurt Paulson was somewhat the leader in discussing, the changes here, and a lot of this is going to come with an SIP later on. In fact, one of the things that we just got asked about was traffic, and one of the conditions in the approval was to have it's conditioned on comments from our town engineer. And I might not have done a real good job in forwarding that on to the city, but one of the comments that Kevin Even, who was our town engineer, did say that he felt when the SIP comes forward, there may need to be an update to the traffic information that was provided. So we had that in our condition as something that we would be looking at as they begin to develop it. I think the developer has basically said it's not a problem. There's a long stretch of road and driveway that's going to be there, plus the road to County Trunk Highway M, plus by that time there might be a light there, and it's mainly on Sundays. But Kevin thought, just to be sure, we better have that looked at again. So that was what the condition, or the contingency was that when the SIP comes in, we might have to look at the traffic numbers again. So that's actually in the document that's there, and that would be I think it might be the third one. You might just compliance with comments from the fire department, engineer, maintenance staff, and for the Middleton folks, WAEMS is Waunakee Area EMS. We did get comments from them that they weren't concerned about it. I don't believe that we got anything definitive from the fire department yet. I think they wanted to see more what the plans look like. So that's all I would have from the town of Westport's perspective. We would, of course, want the joint zoning committee to recommend the approval as the town board recommended, with all the contingencies, and add what the one that the Middleton Plan Commission added. That's what I would suggest at this point.
Thanks, Tom. Kurt, did you wanna comment on this, since you were there on Tuesday night?
Yeah, a lot of our concerns were just also for the public understanding that each neighborhood within the Bishops Bay general development plan has both kind of a density and a numeric cap. So these would be 13 lots reallocated, but they would stay within the town. There'd be a minor adjustment to the city, future city boundary, which is not a big deal. And then I think the impervious surface issue was something that was going to be addressed at the SIP stage, along with traffic. So I think our plan commission, we voted unanimously to support this with the contingencies outlined in the town resolution. So
Great.
Almost sounds like a motion.
Sure, I'll make that my motion.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Do I have a second for that?
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Thanks, Cindy. We do have a motion now and a second to approve the general implementation plan amendment in conformity with the recommendations of, where did they come from, Tom? Which one?
The town board and the city, and the additional city plan commission recommendation.
Okay, yes, to include town board Westport town board recommendations and City of Middleton Plan Commission recommendations. A further discussion on that?
Tom, did you say there's going to be a stoplight at Onken and M?
There is planned to be a stoplight, a stop signal at Bishops Bay Parkway and M.
Oh, okay.
The county has also indicated that they feel it's necessary to have a stop signal at M and Onken. But if you recall, that will be done with the construction that the county is planning on doing in 2023 to Highway M.
Okay.
So there may be stop signs at both, because then they're going to have a roundabout, if you remember, at M and K. But these things are all just tentative right now, because they're only at a 50% plan for that project.
I know that when the preschool, what's the name of that place?
Inspire.
Inspire.
Came in, we did look at traffic there, the impact of traffic there. They of course exit onto Onken, but so there that we have some information on Onken and M in particular that probably this can fill into as well.
Yeah, the county certainly has, you know, whether they're called turn lanes or passing lanes or bypass lanes or whatever, they have those there, and that's kind of at Onken. It's really the beginning. If everybody remembers the plans, it's the beginning of a 4-lane highway that then spins north and goes east. But it would only be 2 lanes in this section, according to the plan that they put together after taking much public comment, right, Cindy?
Yes.
But the stoplight is planned here. It's in the work. The county was a little late in pulling the trigger on with the developer and getting it done. So it's probably something that's going to happen when they get to the next phase. Unless the county wants to put it in all by themselves, but that was kind of the way we left if you remember, Kurt, I think you were around. That's kind of how we left the signal at Bishop's Bay Parkway and M, because there are only going to be these 80 homes, and everybody thought, well, he'll start the next phase before those 80 are sold. But, you know, they've only got 5 homes sold or something like that so far, so a little early.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion or comments on the motion to approve? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition to that motion? Hearing none, then it is passed. And our next item on our agenda is to adjourn. Congratulations, Pastor.
I'll do something. I'll move we adjourn.
All right, thanks, Steen.
A second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Thank you all. And again,
Thank you, everybody. Very
Thank you,
nice job.
everybody.
Nice
Bye.
smile, Joel Brandt. I like that.
Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank
you.
you.
Yep,
Bye
thank
now.
you.
Aye.
Bye.